Coming up on UCF Nightly News. The 15th anniversary of September 11th is 2 days away, but for many, the tragedy still weighs heavy.
Plus, a visit from Bill Clinton inspired Hillary supporters this week in Orlando. We'll tell you his message to UCF and how Hillary's plans could have an impact on students.
And in sports, UCF football rallied up their first win in 13 games. Find out how the team hopes to keep momentum for the rest of the season.
Nightly News starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Shelley Campbell.
And I'm Dernisa Jefferson. Today is Friday, September 9th, 2016. This Sunday marks the 15th anniversary of the world's deadliest terror attack.
A tragedy that took the lives of nearly 3,000 people.
Vanessa Lewis joins us with a special look into the upcoming anniversary of the tragic events that shook our nation back in 2001. Vanessa?
Thanks, Shelley and Dernisa. This week I spoke with a UCF student impacted by 9/11 and a survivor of the attack, both who hope our nation continues to remember the lives lost and the significance of that day. Let's take a look.
My Aunt Kathy, now you are with God. God bless you.
Catherine Patricia Salter was among the thousands of lives lost that day.
I didn't know my aunt was in that building at the time. It took us about a few days to find out that she was one of the ones that was killed.
Her niece, Kristen Salter, was 7 years old when it all happened. She says she didn't fully understand it until she got older.
First few years it was hard, but as I got older, I feel like it got harder.
Catherine worked on the 37th floor of the South Tower.
She was on the phone with her boss when they said that the first tower already got hit, and she hung up the phone because he's like, get out now. So right when she hung up the phone, that's when the second plane hit.
Brian Brankel also went to work that day. Working on the 78th floor, he managed to escape from the South Tower.
I felt it. I felt the pressure from it. I felt the heat from it. 74 floors down, I felt it on the ground. It came into our side of the building, and we were the impact force.
Even after 15 years, Brankel says he still deals with accepting what happened.
It took me about 5 years to kind of say to myself it wasn't my time.
Brankel says staying involved with 9/11 memorials helps him feel less alone.
At night, we go down to Jersey City, which is overlooking the New York City skyline, and we look at the beautiful tribute and lights, the blue lights that are up, and it's very peaceful and quiet there.
As for Kristen, she wants her aunt to know she'll never forget her.
I tell her that I love her because she means the world to me. And every year that I post a photo of her, I just remember that she's obviously looking down on me right now and wishing that she was here.
Brankel and Salter encourage everyone to hug their loved ones a little tighter this Sunday.
I love you so much, and thank you. Love, Kristen Salter.
In Orlando, Vanessa Lewis, UCF Nightly News. Sunday night, the Democrats and Republicans at UCF will come together on the free speech lawn by the John C. Hitt Library. Here, students will get the chance to place a flag into the ground, representing the 2,996 lives lost. Back to you, Shelley and Dernisa.
Orlando is now not just the city beautiful, but a compassionate city as well. The City Council adopted a charter for compassion, creating programs to show compassion throughout Orlando. The charter creates a way for individuals in the city to show compassion and serve their neighbors. A city official tells Nightly News that the City Council wants to make the outpouring of love following the Pulse nightclub shooting a lasting feeling.
When I saw what was happening after the Pulse, I felt like we needed to have some vehicle in which we can take what has happened with the Pulse and continue that feeling that we have, a feeling of compassion we have for one another.
Where it says he hopes the Orlando community will work together to find ways that they can show compassion to those around them.
Right now, Florida is a hot state for debate in this year's election. All parties are doing everything they can to win the mostly red state's votes. Reporter Brian Pereira attended the Bill Clinton rally and outlines his impact on the audience.
Former President Bill Clinton thrilled Orlando citizens on Wednesday, September 7th to rally for his wife Hillary's campaign. Orlando icons such as Congress hopeful Val Demings and LaVon Bracey introduced Clinton. Members of the rally, like Joanne Ritter, say Clinton's speech stood out as enthusiastic and believable.
He said, to say, make America great again is like somebody telling me, make me 20 again.
Clinton spoke about issues such as immigration, discrimination, and coming together as a nation.
We have got to stop discriminating against our fellow Americans who are Muslims. We cannot win this fight without them.
UCF was mentioned in his speech, and Clinton discussed his wife's program to pay existing debts and her plan to provide free tuition.
Everybody with an family income of $125,000 or less should get free tuition at any public college.
Attendees such as Pam Powell said the message that stood out the most was growing stronger together.
In America, united we stand and divided we fall. And that's why the Hillary Clinton's message is all about stronger together, because we're all one nation.
Clinton also brought up climate change and how Florida has the capacity to lead the future of renewable energy. Reporting in Orlando, Bryant Pereira, UCF Nightly News.
Opposing candidates Donald Trump and Gary Johnson are also rallying across the nation. Trump will be in Pensacola today at 7 p.m., and Johnson will rally in New York City tomorrow at 4.
The moderators for the 2016 presidential debates were chosen last Friday, and no Hispanics were selected. Nightly News reporter Costanza Trimarchi tells us why the decisions were disappointing for the Hispanic community.
The Hispanic community is upset that there is not a representation for them in this year's debates. However, UCF Republicans chairwoman Karis Lockhart says the lack of a Hispanic moderator is not an issue.
As long as, we're addressing who the Hispanic population and what their issues are and what they want to hear from each candidate, I think that's what's going to be most important.
But the director of political affairs for college Democrats at UCF, Julia Jordan, thinks otherwise.
I think there should have been more of a concerted effort to have that diversity represented, especially when it's become such a campaign issue with immigration and with some of the comments that Trump has made. So I feel like maybe there should have been one.
Trump is very vocal about illegal immigration and wants to build a wall across the southern border. However, Clinton is focusing on a comprehensive immigration reform. UCF political science professor Aubrey Jewett says having a Hispanic moderator would be more beneficial.
There's something about having a member of the Hispanic subculture up there asking questions that would be more inclusive and make Hispanic voters feel more a part of the process.
Libertarian presidential nominee Gary Johnson needs to average 15% in national polls approved by the commission in order to participate in the presidential debates. He currently averages 9.2%. Reporting from Orlando, Costanza Trimarchi, UCF Nightly News.
The first debate will be September 26th, moderated by NBC News anchor Lester Holt. Now here's Mona Howe with our weather forecast. How's it looking, Mona?
Well, guys, if you go outside right now, it's calm, collective. There's sunny and clear weather. But for Shelly, your birthday is today and this afternoon. Actually, we're expecting some showers. Let's take a look at your current conditions. We're sitting right now at 80 degrees with about 85% moisture in the air. So it's going to really feel like 86 degrees. Winds are currently 4 miles per hour, moving in the direction of northeast. Now, as far as what to expect for rain this afternoon, right around 3 o'clock, we're going to see passing showers, a few passing showers, and by 6-7 tonight, we'll have a couple of isolated showers, but nothing serious for your birthday, Shelly, that you would have to cancel any celebrations tonight. I'll be back a little later in the show to give you your 5-day forecast and what you should expect for this weekend.
Thanks, Mona. Coming up, solid materials that act as a liquid. We'll tell you how 2 UCF individuals are changing the game for technical industries.
Plus, Orange County commissioners are working on improving pedestrian safety on campus. Find out how UCF will be involved.
Two scientists at the University of Central Florida are defying the rules of science. Professor Fernando Uribe Romo and grad student Demetrius Vasquez Molina are changing the world of chemistry and the properties of matter. They found a way to make a solid act like a liquid without changing the substance itself. Uribe Romo tells Nightly News he stepped in when Vasquez Molina came to him with questions about his discovery.
For this specific project, what we did is to observe how lithium ions can move through this solid material, and by the ions doing so, we will be able to create lithium batteries that contain no liquids inside, that is all solid, because the lithium can flow through really easy.
Uribe Romo says these solids can be used in various everyday products, like computers, airplanes, and cars.
Orange County Commissioners outlines an $11 million initiative to improve pedestrian safety near UCF. Nightly News sat down with officials to find out what these plans include and if UCF officials will be helping to fund the project.
Because, not everybody, survives getting hit by a car.
That's how UCF student Saeed Clayhar felt after nearly being hit by a car while crossing the street at UCF.
Not everybody is quick enough to react. That's one of the things I really don't take for granted is crossing anywhere.
After about 259 crashes and 11 deaths between 2006 and 2014 in the UCF area, pedestrian safety at UCF is a topic that is gaining attention. Clayhar, who also skateboards on campus, feels that pedestrian safety is an important issue.
We tend to get hit very often, or almost getting hit, and I don't really know what ways we can do to make it safer for us.
Orange County Commissioners recently outlined an $11 million initiative to improve pedestrian safety, which includes major changes to roads and intersections near the university. UCF Communications Director Mark Schlube says that the county, the state, and UCF will be funding this project.
Well, our top priority is always going to be student safety. So we want to make sure that the enhancements that are done are the right ones to accomplish that goal and keep them as safe as possible.
Proposed changes also include modified traffic lights with flashing yellow right turn arrows to tell drivers to watch for pedestrians. As for Clayhar, he hopes the new plans will make crosswalks safer for pedestrians like him. In Orlando, Denise Jefferson, UCF Nightly News. If the project is approved, county officials will start planning and construction should start in spring 2018.
Up next, Mona Howe is back with an update on your 5-day forecast and what to look for this weekend.
Plus, a new program at UCF is helping kids overcome severe shyness. Find out how avatars are being used to teach social skills. The UCF Childhood Shyness program is using a brand new technique for kids suffering from severe shyness. This new technique uses avatars on an iPad to help develop social skills for kids ages 7 to 12. The kids start out introducing themselves to other avatars and eventually progress to holding a conversation. The goal of the 12-week process is to provide an innovative way to help severe shyness and social anxiety. Director of the Childhood Shyness program, Deborah Beidel, says the program is exclusive to UCF.
In the country that has this program, it's under development, and so only at UCF will you be able to actually talk to artificially intelligent avatars.
Beidel says this new program helps children use their social skills in an environment with other children who are not shy.
Fantasy football is in full swing now that the NFL season kicked off last night. But for some UCF students, there is more on the line than just bragging rights. Nightly News reporter Jenna Smith tells us how this game is playing a role in their future.
That's the sound of a fantasy football draft in progress.
Yeah, big football fan.
UCF professor of writing and rhetoric Blake Scott doesn't hide his love for football from the classroom. In fact, he focuses his rhetoric and popular culture class solely on the football season through fantasy football leagues.
It's interesting to kind of think about how fantasy football is also bled into real life in all these different ways.
Scott says the class teaches students not only how to play fantasy football, but also how to make arguments about fantasy football.
The basic premise of the course, Rhetoric and Popular Culture, is to learn how to be better at rhetoric, the art of persuasion, by engaging a set of popular discourses and practices.
And students of the class, like Paige Preston, say the competition is what keeps their attention.
It's been really interesting because even though I'm not a big football fan, it's still fun to play the fantasy part of it because of the strategy involved.
Strategy that Scott says can be used in real-life situations.
Students are so jazzed about playing fantasy football that they almost forget that they're learning also how to argue and do these other things that could help them in other parts of their life.
Scott hopes the league interactions will cause students to work together to be more effective people in the community. In Orlando, Jenna Smith, UCF Nightly News.
Now, since football is a fall sport, this version of the class is only offered in the fall semesters. But the rhetoric professors at UCF are now exploring alternate versions, including a Lady Gaga-themed class for the spring. Now let's go over to Mona for a look at the 5-day forecast. Mona?
All right, let's first take a look at the national forecast. We have the national map here. If you look in the Midwest region, there's these highlighted red, like Kansas, where they're expecting a lot of shower, a lot of flooding in this region. This goes all the way up north to the New England region. They're expecting a lot of rain as well, thunderstorm, and actually, the rain comes all the way south, even to South Florida, and goes all the way to Texas and Louisiana. They're expecting a lot of rain as well. Now, let's take a look at the rain conditions here in Florida. Tallahassee and Jacksonville, they're very lucky. No rain this week for them. Now, we have Tampa is seeing 20% chance for rain. Orlando is seeing 30% chance for rain. Miami, 40%. Now, also, let's take a look at the temperatures. Tallahassee, 94. Jacksonville, 91. Tampa, 92. Orlando, 91 degrees. Miami, 88 degrees. Maybe Shelly can go to Miami and celebrate her birthday this weekend there. Now, let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Saturday, high of 91 degrees, low of 74 with 30% chance for rain. Sunday, 91 degrees again, 73, 30% chance for rain. Monday, around the same temperatures again, guys, 89 degrees, 75, 30% chance for rain. Now, on Tuesday, we have a wave of tropical storms coming through. Don't worry, this is just for Tuesday. If you see there, 50% chance, so the rain is going to increase, but it is going to blow out. So on Wednesday, we're back at 89 degrees, low of 75, and 30% chance for rain. And that's what we have for weather today. Back to you, Shelly and Ernisa.
Coming up in sports, find out how UCF's football team is looking to keep their momentum going after their shutout last weekend.
Plus, we'll tell you how one volleyball player is trying to dig her name into UCF history.
Hi Knights, I'm Keith Hellebrand here with your sports update. What a better way to start off than with UCF football as the Knights open the 2016 season against the South Carolina State Bulldogs.
The winless 2015 season did not stop fans from coming out to support the team on Saturday. The Knights took the field for the first time with first-year head coach Scott Frost. Playing in a new high-tempo offense, UCF ran 91 plays in total, which is the most since 2002 against Kent State. Head coach Scott Frost says he credits that total to both the offense and defense.
I don't think I've been part of a game in a long time where we had more time of possession, so that was kind of different. But overall, I was thrilled with the way the defense played and encouraged by the way the offense played, because if we clean some things up, I think we can be pretty good.
UCF went on to shut out the Bulldogs 38-0, breaking their 13-game losing streak. Junior defensive back Shaquille Griffin had the only interception of the game and says it's a relief to get a win.
You can see me on the sideline, I was running around saying we broke the curse. You know, you're going around, you go through a whole season, like that, and you lose 12 games, you definitely want to come back and lose the next one.
UCF's next game is tomorrow in Ann Arbor, Michigan against the 5th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Scott Frost knows the challenge they face in a hostile environment.
To play well against these guys, we got to be on it. Everything's got to happen at the right timing. It's got to be full speed. 11 guys have to be doing their job.
Saturday's game is the first meeting between the two teams.
The last time UCF played a top 10 ranked team was the 2014 Fiesta Bowl win against Baylor. You can watch the game tomorrow at noon on ABC. And UCF volleyball is also off to a hot start. Last weekend they won the Saluki Invitational by sweeping Western Michigan in their final match. The MVP of that tournament was sophomore Jordan Pingle, whose value is crucial to the team.
Volleyball is my life.
Jordan Pingle grew up loving volleyball. Both of her parents played in college and play a huge role in her career.
They're always teaching me, and I can always ask questions to them, and I know they'll give me good information and reliable just skills and stuff to learn from them. They're awesome.
Pingle is coming off a successful season where she posted a freshman record of 570 digs, second most in UCF history. Pingle says she has one personal goal in mind this season.
I want to beat the digging record for the season. I want to beat that one. I was close last year, so I'm going to beat it this year.
Head coach Todd Dagenet is in his 9th season at UCF and sees the potential in Pingle to become a great player.
Jordan's steadiness, I think, is the one thing that the team values the most about her, because they go out there and she's stable and she's steady and she's competent. I mean, she's good at what she does, and I think those three things right there are something that not only the coaching staff but the players really admire about her.
Pingle went to high school in Colorado, but she knew after a visit to UCF that this is the place for her.
When I visited, I loved everything about it. I loved the people, I loved the coaches, the campus, and I just felt myself fitting in really well here, and I knew that if anything happened, I couldn't play volleyball, I would still want to go to school here, so this was my home.
Pingle says she wants to continue to grow as a leader and get a degree in hospitality management.
UCF women's volleyball will host the Holiday Inn Orlando East UCF Classic this weekend, the same tournament that Jordan Pingle was MVP of last season. That's all for sports this week. Back to you, Shelly and Dearnisa.
That's our time right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our website, nightlynews.ucf.edu.
And if you've got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us here at nightlynews@ucf.edu. Thank you for watching and have a good day.